What? Is that a spot on the Chicago line that isn't the depot or the hospital spot? Yep. I finally went to other locations. This is a crossing in Rolling Prairie, Indiana. On December 6th, me and my dad had to go here to get a Christmas tree. And there just so happened to be tracks right next to the spot where we're getting the tree. And my dad just so happened to have trained for his job in the building right next to it. So he knew about this crossing, and he even railfan there sometimes during his lunch breaks. So we decided to stop here for a bit so I could test out the spot. And we were not disappointed. Well, we kind of were. There were barely any trains. But the trains we did see were pretty cool. And that started with NS 31Q, heading west with an awesome Dash 9 leader, and a very cool shot underneath the bridge. This bridge here makes for really cool shots for westbounds. And after a very long, boring, and cold wait, our next and final train arrived. Another westbound, NS 868, a coal train, which is pretty rare on the Chicago line, so this was cool to see, being led by a single C6M, which was really boring, but it had a cool horn on it, so there's that, I guess. After that, I was eager to go railfanning at that spot again, but I definitely wasn't planning to the next day because of the temperature. Even when NS 4822 rolled through Elkhart, I was like, it's trailing, I've gotten a better shot of it before, I'm not going to bother going out. And that was my thought process. Until... Needless to say, me, everyone, and their grandma booked it to the NS Chicago line to catch this thing. I knew I didn't have enough time to make it to the Rolling Prairie crossing, unfortunately, so it was off to the depot as per usual. And as we were pulling in, NS 37M cleared right before we could get there. We didn't manage to beat the head end, but we did get the DPU. After 37M passed, I had a quick talk with LaPorte Railfan, who was also there, and he confirmed that 3023 hadn't passed yet. However, just as we were finishing our conversation, we heard crossing gates, and 64 with the J unit, beautifully as NDPU, rushed past. With the heritage unit of my favorite railroad gliding off in the distance, me and LaPorte Railfan made the decision to stick it out for 4822. Since we were already out here and it was relatively close, we figured, we might as well, whatever. It's another special unit I can check off the list of units I need to catch with my camcorder before Norfolk Southern dies. Anyways, before that train could get here, another one had to clear, which was NS-33G, with its typical large quantity of bean sniffers. And just before 4822 showed up, we got another bonus train in the form of B10, awesomely led by a solo ace. And after a little bit more waiting, we saw the headlights of NS-606 in the distance, with a C6M leading, and of course NS-4822, the employee blood unit, / Diet Coke unit, / FU to our railroaders unit, / it has like 10 million names. And my luck was just too good this week, because only 2 days later, CSX sent me another special. 4720, one of my favorite CSX special units, was trailing as NDPU on I-135, so of course I headed to Walkerton to catch it. When we got there, almost immediately we saw a westbound, which we were hoping would be I-135, but nope, it was I-171, with 2 bean sniffers blasting by at borderline dangerous speed. Now, if you noticed, that train was on the close track, which doesn't make any sense, because last time I was in Walkerton, westbounds were on the far track and eastbounds were on the close track, which is how I ended up getting I-135 blocked when 1827 was on it. However, CSX said, yeah, no, we're going to be just better now, and swapped it, which led to this awesome moment on this trip. CSX M353 came in eastbound, and then my target of the night, I-135, came in meeting with it. I've never seen a moving meat on the Garrett sub before, so this was such a treat, not to mention the fact that a special unit was involved. I'm so glad CSX swapped what track, which direction trains are on, because otherwise I-135 would have gotten blocked. And with that, we've reached the end of this video. This was some of the most fun rail fanning I've had in a long time. We got 2 legendary units and 1 absolutely trash one, which is, you know what, that's fine. 4720 and 3023 were both units that I've had on my bucket list for years. Or, not really for 4720's case because it's so new, but you get the point, I'm exaggerating. I was so glad to see these units, especially in this close of a time frame. Neither of the 2 shots are amazing, but you know what? I'll take what I can get. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to catch those units while you can, especially the maple syrup chugging heritage units, and I will see you in the next video.